Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Alternate Future. As we are on episode 4. I know, really, episode 4. We've come a long way, and I'm pretty proud of myself. I also updated the map, fixed the borders. I know Belarus looks like a literal it literally is horrible. I understand. Poland looks alright. Ukraine, don't talk about it. Russia, I fixed up the border so they actually look more crippled. And yeah, I also added major cities, provinces as well, rivers, all of that. But and I changed the sea and color of the world so it looks a little bit better in my eyes. But you guys might also hear some background noise because my sister has her friend over and really irritates me, but no biggie. But um, let's start off with the continuation of the Japanese and Chinese War. So the Japanese will continue to like expand into China, and the Chinese are going to react fast in a different way as they attack in Mongolia. Very strange, I understand, because they should be focusing down here, as this is their most important zone with all the economics and stuff. But they're more focused here. They are trying to reach here, cut off all of Mongolia, and then try to push all the way to here, which is a very risky move, as there's all this. But continuing with the Chinese, they will continue and they will be very successful. And the Japanese will send troops, and the troops will do damage, but a lot of Chinese troops are here, so trying to reach their plan of reach all the way to here or here, because they're both very important. And it goes super well until Japanese troops arrive, highly equipped Japanese troops, and kind of beat the Chinese back, but the Chinese will hold. Holy voice crack. But the Japanese down here, they will begin to be pushed back, like heavily. And the Chinese, they might win this. Keyword might. But the Japanese, as they see that they're losing, they will do one of the largest naval invasions in history, as they will basically land in many major areas. And it's not going to go so well for the Chinese, as all of these invasions will happen all across. And the largest one is in like Hong Kong, the Hong Kong area. And Taiwan is, yeah. And the Chinese see this, and they see this as a major distraction for them. So they don't focus. As they continue to... Oh, wrong thing. As they continue to push into Japanese lands, or Mongolian lands, and they aren't focused here. But they will soon do a U-turn, and they will soon realize that they can easily retake this this communist Chinese rebellion thing or area, and they will very much do so as they really just bombard this area, and they would be very successful in like attacking the occupied Chinese. And the Chinese would do very well in pushing back the Japanese, but they aren't going to do as well as they anticipated, because they soon realized that these Japanese landings were not fake. They were not a distraction. They happened on purpose. And the Chinese realized that way too late. And China's just like, yeah, we're kind of cooked. But the Chinese, they will have many troops down here, so they will be very successful in taking back these regions, especially Taiwan or the island of Taiwan, and they will have a major, very deadly battle in the city. And you want to know something? The Japanese still won. And by the time, many Japanese and Chinese have really died. Let's just put it like that. They have died. And the Japanese aren't really focused in this area, except all of this. But besides that point, besides the point, they are trying to gain this entire dominance. They wanted Taiwan, but Chinese do not. But the Japanese will do one last try to take Taiwan, and this time it actually goes successful. And they successfully capture it. And really, they will blockade Taiwan as they will go down and try to take over these cities, but Chinese troops, being Chinese troops, they will protect their land and they will push back the Japanese. And it goes super well until here. Um, Many Japanese are stationed in mostly this region. So, and the Chinese are like, why are they all stationed here and not up here? And they'll find out in right now because the Japanese will do one massive, very massive blitzkrieg or spearhead into the Chinese capital, and they will take it. And the Chinese will realize that they've kind of just lost as Japanese troops begin to pour in to Chinese lands, and China's just going to lose as they will begin to be pushed back, and it's not going to go so well as they capture this Chinese rebellion. And the Chinese, seeing how much they've lost already, they will just say, "Yeah, we surrender." So let me make that peace treaty. So here's the peace treaty of the Great Russo-Japanese. I mean, not Russia, Chino-Japanese War. So basically, Japan will gain all of this. Oh, wrong layer. Will gain this and also Taiwan. And all the Chinas will actually they will not be forced, but they will all unite under a circumstance to basically to unite against the Japanese as they have lost all their old historical Chinese lands. And Chinese really dislike the Japanese, and they also created their own pack against the Japanese, which I forgot to add a few, which I'll do that next episode. But let me show you what the alliance map looks like. So the gold is the Chinese, and the purple is the Japanese. So if we zoom out and look at our alliance map so far, it will be changed this episode many times. See, we have the Mediterranean Alliance, the Baltic Alliance, and now we have two new alliances. Oh yeah, and the Brazilian Alliance. We have we have the Japanese and the Chinese. So yeah. But moving on, what the heck? But moving on, we will be moving on to Brazil. So the Brazilian Alliance, um, literally just being a very fascist alliance containing Brazil, Colombia, and Chile. But they will do their expansionist acts all against the two poor little countries of Bolivia and Peru. Very sad. Very sad. So, what the heck? So, yeah. Basically, Brazil being Brazil, they will send tons of troops against the border. And Bolivia's navy will be used for nothing as they're not getting their coastline back. But Chile will do many offensives as they have done what the Brazilians done and increase their army and basically will try to do many tactics against the blue team, or Peru and Bolivia, to reach Peru's capital first. But Bolivia will do some counteroffensives, which do pretty well with Peruvian. I think that's how you say it. Comment down if I'm wrong. But Peruvian and Bolivian um counteroffensives against the Chileans. But the Chileans, they're not giving up. Let's just as moving back up here, many Colombians and Brazilians will begin to really like push back the Peruvians. But the Peruvians will do some very, very good counteroffensives. And Colombia, Brazil, and Chile are all wondering, why aren't these two dead yet? And many, and what I mean by many, I mean by Venezuela, Panama, Ecuador, and Argentina are supporting these two against Brazil. And also, the big Papa Uncle Sam is helping. So, that is really why these two aren't dying. As the Peruvians, they will continue very good counteroffensives as well as the Bolivians. But the Colombians and the Brazilians, they will force Ecuador to really allow them to go through their land. And Ecuador, if they say no, they will be invaded, and they don't want to be invaded. So they will have to say yes, and the Peruvians and the Ecuadorians are like, "What, dude? Why did you do that?" And the Ecuadorians it's for my own good, and Peru and Bolivia are just like pissed off about that. But continuing back down to Chile, they will do a major spearhead into Bolivia's capital, and they will capture it. As they will go for another major city, and they will capture that as well. And with Brazilian aid finally arriving through the Amazon forest, they will really just destroy the rest of Bolivia. And many countries that are near Brazil are like, holy. And yeah, it's not going to go so well for Bolivia, as they will surrender, and it's just Peru. And finally, with the breakthrough of this front line, and Brazilian troops finally arriving, they will absolutely, literally just spearhead all the way down to the capital. And these spearheads all across these sides will have the most deadliest battle in the war yet. For the Peruvian capital, and you know something? The fascists will take over the not Brazilian, Peruvian capital, and this will end the war as a fascist victory. But something will be created, and some countries will be destroyed after this. So let me make the peace treaty, and I'll be back. So here is the peace treaty, and literally, here's the peace treaty, and basically, it kind of basically partitioned Bolivia and Peru. And the Brazilian faction, as that's what I'm going to call them, they have grown exponentially. What is this? They have grown exponentially. As Colombia has all of this, Brazil reaches from the Pacific to the Atlantic. I might have it switch swapped. And they gained 2 new Caribbean allies of the Dominican Republic and Nicaragua. I think that's how you say it. And they also gained Suriname, I think. Uruguay and Uruguay. I can't remember. These two confuse me, but yeah, this is literally the new Brazilian faction, and Brazil will expand outwards, not just for South America, but for the world, for new fascist allies. But that's for the next episode. But many countries, such as the United States, Venezuela, Ecuador, Argentina, and Uruguay will all create, oh, and Panama will all create a new alliance called the American Federation. The American League is created, and this is basically to stop the Brazilian or fascist expansion, as the United States does not want any imperialist Japanese in America, and they don't want any new superpower that rivals them. So they would create their own pack of the. It's basically just the anti-Brazilian, or the new Americas pack. But since the Brazilians attack countries, the United States gives an excuse of saying, we shall attack countries that so that they do not get harmed by the Brazilian influence. And which so they do, as the United States will declare war on Cuba, Haiti, the Bahamas. Oh wait, wrong color. Cuba, the Bahamas, the Dominican Republic, and questionable of all, Iberia. Many question this and are very confused of why that is. Because aren't these guys literally from your country? That's United States already gave their excuse and they're not taking it back. As they will also invade these two Central American countries. I don't know their names, and I probably never will. But the United States will first land in the Bahamas and will really just land in Cuba, and they will name this as a special operation. As they take the Cuban capital, they will move down, then land in the tip of Cuba and make them a surrender. And same with Haiti. And these two Central American countries, they just surrender. And the Americas, or in America, will go all the way to Iberia and or Liberia and capture it. So the Americans are doing this because they do not want any more Brazilian or fascist influence past the Caribbean, as since really they kind of have created this little dome for Colombia, so they can't really pass with this Brazilian puppet, or I guess. But they also have created this new little type of Atlantic blockade, as if they go past, they cannot go past. So the Brazilians, they will be wondering, wait a second, can't we go under here? So this will happen in some episode. I won't tell you which, but that's only a hint. But let me make a peace treaty. So here's the peace treaty, as basically Cuba, Haiti, and the Bahamas and Liberia will basically just become puppets and states of the United States, as well as this little region here, on the wrong layer, of this region here becoming a U.S. naval station. A very important one, as the U.S. will use Cuba as a very, very important naval base to blockade the Cubans, as they have these two countries as allies now, and they will use this to have Panama as a major ally, as they will blockade Colombia from kind of just like expanding, as they have these islands, and yeah. So that's cool. But moving on to Iran. Iran is in a very, very important strategical spot, and they have seen a lot happening, as they have seen the Soviets collapsing, the Germans collapsing, these two getting new ideologies, the Chinese losing, and so much more. But the Iranians have seen too much, and they will do what they need to do as they believe to protect their country, as they will go into a new fascist state and will create the new Persian Empire, as they will first go after their first opponent or opponents of Caucasia and Afghanistan. Iranian troops will first pour into Caucasia, as they hold strategic spots, as mostly in this region, and they want access to the Mediterranean Sea. So the Iranians, being new fascists and wanting to basically become stronger as like one of the great powers, such as France or Russia, or even Germany if you count. But they will capture this first major city, and they will be trying to go to the Caucasian capital. And many Caucasians here will be able to resist and push back the Iranians. But the Iranians will create a new front. And the Iranians building up their navy in both, I forgot what this Gulf is, and this Gulf, or not this Gulf, the sea. And they will use this as their advantage to create multiple naval landings and basically do what the Japanese did, as they were inspired. Not inspired, but got the idea from the Japanese. And will continuously go down, and they, with the other front line, reach this area and will basically just destroy Caucasia. But moving to Afghanistan, Iran will put most of their focus in Afghanistan, as they have something special that they're going to do next, as they will first easily move into Afghanistan. And the Afghanistan is a very hard country to invade, but let's just say the Iranians are used to this. So they will easily move in, and they will divert their troops. Instead of being here, they will divert them in this little front line down here, and will basically move along the British Raj's border, and they will capture the Afghanistan capital, move up, and just capture this little, I guess, panhandle. And yes, I'm gonna go somewhere for the Afghanistans or Afghanistanians. The Afghanistan will just surrender, and Iran will put most of their focus in Caucasia, and which so they do. And yeah, so peace treaty. So here's the peace treaty, as Iran will take like the Azerbaijan region of Caucasia, and Caucasia will become a puppet to Iran. So as Afghanistan, as they're extremely weakened. But Iran's next target will actually be Central Asian Union. As wrong color. As Iran wants to take basically all of this land, and give, as this was former Iranian land, and Afghanistan some land to just make the people more happy. So they will. They will literally just destroy these guys, as they will begin to move into, I guess, the Uzbekistan region and the Turkmenistan region, as they will immediately just literally just blitzkrieg. They will take this major city, and it's just not going to go so well. And after this, Iran will also do something just like the Americans did. They will take this major city, and yeah, they're just cooked. So, just to wrap this up, they're cooked. But in all seriousness, the Iranians will use this Gulf or Bay to just land and take in the capital and force them to surrender. So, peace treaty. So here's the peace treaty. Iran will just take all their coast, and yeah, it's just not going to be fun. We'll take the Central Asian's coast, which, as I said before, it's not fun. And Afghanistan will become larger. They look hideous, I understand. And yeah, Greater Iran will possibly be a country. I mean, what am I talking about? Okay, but thank you all for watching. Um, like and subscribe because that will really help me out. As my goal is 50 subscribers, as I want to live stream. So yeah. Oh, but also, Iran also created their own alliance as the Persian Pact. So yeah, there's like, if you want to count, you can. There's one. So, 7 alliances in this episode. That is very, very insane. As there is an American Cold War, I forgot to say that. There is a new great power in Asia besides Russia and the British, and there we have 4 rivaling nations in Asia, as the Persians once again influence in this region. The Japanese want to gain influence in this region, which they basically kind of did. And the British just want to gain dominance in everywhere. So the British, yeah. The British will do something in the next episode. Hopefully, possibly. I don't know. You tell me. But thank you all for watching again. And like and subscribe. Help me out from 50 subs. And Wednesday vids, they might happen next week. But I have my science state exam. So I don't know. I'll possibly try to get a Wednesday video out. But yeah, thank you for watching and peace. Sir, we've gotten a piece of the invaders. Good. Research it and trade it with the US, Russians, and British. Wouldn't that weaken us? Yes, but those invaders keep on landing in Mongolia, so we need the help we can get against these outsiders. All right, sir, whatever you say. I'll start enhancing our technology first. Good. Research it and trade it with the US, Russians, and British. Wouldn't that weaken us? Yes, but those invaders keep on landing in Mongolia, so we need the help we can get against these outsiders. All right, sir, whatever you say. I'll start enhancing our technology first and start the operations.